Marvin. The character we got so much love for in Power Book 3, but can't seem to keep himself up out of trouble. Now, unless you just ain't been locked in like that, you should already know Marvin got a track record going back to season 1 of this series, where he's done things that miraculously have just not come back up yet in the series. Things that if they did at this point can land him in jail for a good number of years, if not life. Or if bad enough, could end up impacting the entire Thomas family. I think the actions Marvin has taken this season are a result of two things. First being that he hasn't really been caught up on a lot of the things that he's done. No matter how bad he's covered up the crime or how bad he gets called out on something that he does, the situation ends up getting cleaned up some way, somehow. Or the plot just bails him out, let's be honest. But there's also the betrayal he experienced last season from Gerald. Season 3 was undoubtedly the season Marvin made the least mistakes, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, he was giving Gerald some information, but he trusted him. He didn't think that information would ever touch the light of day, and when he felt like it would, he stopped giving him information. And obviously the information he gave Gerald wasn't enough to put him behind bars, so Marvin's probably feeling super comfortable right now. Super untouchable, and fresh off of the betrayal he experienced from Gerald last season, he's not going for nothing in this one. Moving real similarly to how he was in season 1, where he made a lot of mistakes that really didn't end up costing him in the grand scheme of things. What Marvin's not considering is that those things that he got away with in season 1 are not on the same level of the things he's trying to get away with in season 4. On top of the fact that you have to compound the things he got away from in seasons 1 and 2 to what he's doing in season 4. Because if he gets put away, all of this could be used against him. Maybe not in the moment. If you start unpeeling the layers, you get to one thing, another thing. You know, all of that could be used in court against Marvin. And that could mean very bad business for the Thomas family. Shout out to all y'all who voted in this poll. I greatly appreciate it. It was looking like Lou was going to win at first. I was excited to make Lou's video, but then I see Marvin edged out on top. And I know I gotta respect the people's vote. So in this video, I'm here to argue why the decisions that Marvin has made in this season in particular are not going to be looked over or just addressed as they have been in past seasons. Instead, in this video, I'm going to argue how his decisions are going to negatively impact the Thomas family. So much so that the family will never be able to recover. With all that said, if y'all like anything I have to say in this video, y'all already know what y'all got to do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. And let's jump into why I think Marvin nor the Thomas family are going to be able to escape his actions this season. But let's start off with the obvious first set of mistakes, that being his work with Stefano this season. We saw in the first episode of this season how Marvin and Stefano's business relationship began. Marvin got a lot of praise from Stefano for how he took care of the Sal Baselli situation in the last season. So much so that he wanted to utilize his services to get his son-in-law online, who was moving shiesty on his daughter. Obviously, Marvin does what he does. Stefano is even more impressed. So he continues to go to him for favors throughout this season, which Marvin obliges easily, no question to anything Stefano asks. And that right there is the biggest problem with Marvin's character. He doesn't know when to say no. He's so confident in his ability to get things done. And then it's bad enough Stefano is gassing him up that he's going to take up every opportunity that bro puts in his line of sight. Let's not get it twisted. Marvin is a very competent and capable character. In his line of work, he does a great job doing what he does. When people send you somewhere to just talk to somebody, to just grill them to make sure that they staying in line doing what they got to do on their end, and you kill them because of something they said, not only is that another body on your rap sheet that could be used against you down the line, not only can that be used against the people that are affiliated with you as well, but you also unnecessarily putting a target on your back even if you don't get locked. We didn't hear how Stefano felt about what Marvin did to Boy in episode 2 when they was on the phone when Jukebox came back from the military camp. But what if bro just said, you know what, F this relationship I got with Marvin, he moving a little too reckless, I'm gonna take him out. Matter of fact, let's just take out the whole Thomas family. Alright, he never would have said all that because him and Rock actually had a good working relationship at that point in time in the season. But yeah, Marvin just doing what he wanted to do and not thinking of the consequences of his actions in that moment, that's a dangerous character to deal with. Like I'm telling y'all, that shit really got me scared for Stefano's life because I really think Marvin will be dumb enough to take bro out. After the last episode, we see that they had a conversation where Stefano was telling Marvin that he could potentially step up and take over the Thomas family organization for this period of time. Obviously, with Unique being back, taking hits at their organization, the decisions that Rock has been making during this time, it was no surprise that Stefano would come to Marvin, who's been doing all this work for him in the past, as the first name to take over the Thomas organization during this period of time. We know Marvin wasn't going for this. He said, bro, you better never bring this shit up to me ever again. We also know Marvin brought up to Rock in this episode, who's to say Stefano won't turn on them and end up getting work from Unique, taking them off the board altogether. That's why they did what they did in the last episode and try to cover their bases, going at Snaps and Pops, Stefano, all that, to get as much people on their side against this Unique situation as possible. I don't think the conversation between Stefano and Marvin in the last episode was enough to warrant Marvin to want Stefano dead right now. It's something that's definitely going to stick with him. And if his gets brought up again, I don't know, man. Stefano got that big furnace. If he's in the wrong room with Marvin when having this conversation, he might push him in there. I'm not even playing. I also know Marvin was working with Stefano unbeknownst to Rock earlier on in the season. She assumed they was working together, but she didn't have a concrete yes from Marvin. Up until like 4 or 6 where he told her, listen, Rock, I got my own life. I'm just doing a little work on the side for Stefano. That's it. I'm glad he did, because to be honest, I did not think he was going to tell Rock this until like the second to last episode of the season, where at that point it probably would have already been too late to clean up a lot of the mess that Marvin has made up till this point with that organization. Now, I am glad he finally told Rock that he is working with Stefano. That doesn't automatically give Rock a breakdown of the work that they've been doing together. What Marvin's been doing on his end to not only put the family at risk, but to risk the relationship with Rock and Stefano. If they were to lose Stefano at this point in time with how Unique's been handling the organization slow from the back, that's not going to be a good look at all. Stefano is really the only lifeline they have right now. Snaps and Pops is not willing to work with Rock. They got to make sure things stay good with Stefano right now when the organization is at its weakest in the series. And that comes with the level of trust that Rock has to have in Marvin that she does not have right now, unbeknownst to her. Because she has no idea that Marvin is the one who set Early Tyler up with Stefano's organization. You know, the same Early Tyler who was housing Unique while he was recovering from his fight with Ronnie in the last season, giving him all the facilities he needed before he was able to get back to the street. That same Early Tyler. Well, I think this is going to end up being Marvin's biggest mistake this season. It's not particularly because he put Early Tyler in this position, even though that in itself was just like, Marvin, why did you feel the need to do that? Like, this is an organization that you just became affiliated yourself. What makes you think you can bring somebody else in on this? But then you treat Early Tyler shitty when you bring him in on the organization. Talking about you shouldn't care how much you make, work is work. A greedy nigga like Early Tyler, he's not hearing none of that. Like, I don't know how far back their relationship goes, but there's no way Marvin is thinking Early Tyler is just cool with not making the same wage as everybody else on the team. Especially when he came to this organization to make more bread. Tell y'all, this decision was always meant to go left. Stefano foreshadowed it in the same episode that Marvin brought Early Tyler to the table, telling Marvin, if things go wrong with this guy, all of this is going to come back on you. Something I'm now thinking about while talking about this, because Marvin bringing Early Tyler to Stefano's table is good for the story, don't get me wrong. Because without this inclusion, Marvin and Stefano realistically probably would have continued to work well together throughout the series. We know this because even with everything going on with Unique, Stefano still reached out to Marvin to take over the Thomas family in Rock's stead. Throwing this shiesty man Early Tyler into the mix is bad for business because we know he's directly tied to Unique. And with the way he's been treated in these last few episodes, I would not be surprised if he goes ahead and tells Unique, hey, I'm a part of this organization. They doing XYZ. I feel like I'm not being compensated. What you want to do about that? But while sitting here thinking about it, I'm trying to understand why Marvin literally even put this man Early Tyler in this position. Like, yeah, I understand he helped you get connected with Gerald's daughter, sure. But you couldn't have done that yourself? Even if you couldn't do that by yourself and Early Tyler just did his favor out the kindness of his heart. You had to make this man a number in Stefano's organization for what? You just got here yourself. It just doesn't go in line with his character. Marvin literally was so trusting of Gerald in the last season, then got betrayed and almost got entirely exposed and got the Thomas family caught up. It's something they didn't have to get caught up in because he trusted Gerald. Now he's trusted Early Tyler because Early Tyler put him in position to see Gerald's daughter, something that he could have did by himself. I don't know. It just don't line up with how I thought Marvin's character was going to go to the season, but I digress. Regardless of what, this is going to end up being Marvin's worst decision this season. And if it's not, and he's going to get caught up in the death of Famous. I'm telling y'all, only 2 viable candidates right now on who took out Famous in this season. Either it's Snaps and Pops or it's Rock and Marvin. I'm telling y'all right now, nobody else has as much motivation to take out Famous as these 2 parties. I see some theories going around saying Detective Garcia is a bad cop. I just don't see him doing all of this circling around when he already knows what happened to Famous. It don't make no sense. I do think Famous's death is going to come back around, and if Marvin is involved, it is going to be a path of no return. I'm telling you right now. The Thomas family is not going to jack him after finding this out. Which will be another one of Marvin's infamous decisions that end up breaking up this family. As of right now, though, him bringing Early Tyler into Stefano's organization is his biggest mistake by far this season, probably of the series. Unique will definitely take advantage of the situation when Early Tyler tells him what's been going on, and that'll probably ice out the Thomas family from Stefano's organization, even if Marvin didn't have anything to do with killing Famous. That alone is not going to be a good thing for the Thomas family, obviously. I said all this, and I didn't even mention how Marvin did Terry a couple episodes back, too. When Rock just told him to go talk to the man, he decides to kill him. I mean, for good reason. Terry said he was going to go to the cops, right? But this does not serve the Thomas family at all. It puts them in a worse position, in fact. Now they got to deal with his coked out brother. So was it really worth it? think you can ask that, was it really worth the question with a lot of the things that Marvin has done in this series. But y'all leave your thoughts in the comments, man. What do you think of Marvin's decisions? Do you think that his decisions will have a catastrophic impact on the Thomas family? I think it would just be so poetic seeing Marvin, the one who does all of these things with good intentions in mind, keep his family protected, ultimately being the one behind its eventual destruction.